Hi, my name is Kyle C, and today on the stoop, nope, nope.
It's too cold. Too cold.
Look, I tried, man. It's too cold to do that. I live in Toronto, so, you know. The reason why I'm changing on the fly right now is basically I'm trying to keep up. Glasses. So today on the stoop, I have the creators of the long and short of style, Gail and Leslie Thompson, as we share their highs and lows of their career, the decision into going into the fashion way of life, and taking on this trip into entrepreneurship, Scarf, and following their entire journey through this pandemic and much more. And check the ladies out on the gram at The Long and Short of Style, as well as their website, thelongandshortofstyle.com. And I appreciate you for tuning into the South Shore YouTube channel. Shoulders! And make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, share it with your peoples, leave comments, and make sure you go to southshoreav.com to follow along with my entire catalog of podcast shows. And remember, I'm available wherever you listen to podcasts. So after you watch this episode, make sure you like, rate, review, and subscribe to all of the shows on South Shore Ave Radio. It's The Stoop on South Shore Ave Radio. Welcome to The Stoop. I'm joined today by the creators of the Long and Short of Style as a fashion blog and rapidly growing Instagram account. These are two sisters that I've known for a very long time. And even though they're from Montreal, it's manish wata over poutines all day, every day. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Gail and Leslie Thompson. How you doing today, ladies?
Hey, we're good.
How you doing, Calvin?
I'm doing good.
So much for having us.
No problem. Long overdue, actually. Long overdue. I was gonna ask you, how's the lockdown treating you?
Oh Lord.
We are over it.
I'm done.
Like for real, over it.
I'm done. I need a vacation. I need to go someplace. I need to get on a plane.
Oh man.
I love my sister, but there's been a lot of
togetherness.
Yeah.
A bit too much togetherness.
A little too much quality time.
Yes.
And you?
I'm doing well as well. I just, I feel like I'm hoping I'm properly dressed for this because y'all are the
you ready
fashion queens right now.
You ready?
You
okay,
ready?
Look, I got my little Jodeci shirt.
We
little Jodeci action.
And we love to see it.
Thank you for representing.
Oh, thank you. Now I feel like I accomplished something in life.
You did.
You got this. Approved.
Listen, no matter how far you reach in your goals, whether it's superstardom or incremental success, there's always a beginning. There's always a genesis point.
Yeah.
How did you ladies start up with all of this? Like, was this something that you were always inspired to do from back in the day, or just something that came over like a few years ago? Like, how did it all start?
So fashion has always been a passion of ours. It's something that we've always loved. And I always attribute my love of passion to my mom and Gail, because of course, her being the older sister,
whatever. I don't look it. That's the thing. I don't look it.
I would follow in her footsteps and want to wear the things that she wore and do all that kind of stuff. And you see what's on television, but it didn't really come to fruition for us until 2015, I think it was.
Yeah.
Where, we kind of ran out, bought a camera, bought a tripod. We're like, okay, we're going to start this year. We're going to start a blog because a lot of people have been telling us, yeah, we should do this. And just as we were about to begin, one of our friends came to us and she was thinking about starting a blog. And she's like, hey, would you want to do it together? And we're like, oh my gosh, that would be so awesome. We were just about to start one too. It's going to be much better if we do it together. And that was the culmination of Fab Four Fashion, which is our first brand that we had with two of our friends and partners. So we did that for a few years, and then everyone wanted to try do something different, pursue different interests, but Gail and I were we really love doing the blog. We are committed to what we were doing. We really are, like, body diversity and inclusion is something that's very extremely important to us. And seeing people with different abilities. I have a visual impairment, which I know a lot of people don't know. It's not something I really even spoke about years ago, so I've never seen anybody that has any kind of disability in fashion and getting, awesome media attention and cred and all that kind of stuff. So for me, that was an added reason why I wanted to continue with the blog and speak out more on that. The saying goes, be the change you want to see in the world. So that was kind of my inspiration to keep pushing forward. And Gail, I know you too.
Yeah, and for me, just the representation of plus size women in media isn't always positive. We're always seen as lazy, sloppy, this, that, and the other. And I'm just like, I'm not lazy, and I know I'm not sloppy. So I still want to push forward through the blog. I can still push forward that idea that, you know, plus size women can come correct. They're hot, they're sexy, smart, pulled together. And it's just really important for me to push that narrative forward.
Definitely. And positive representation of Black women, period.
Yes.
You know, we want to see more Black women in media. We want to see more positive representation of us doing things and being bosses and all of that. Yeah. So we definitely wanted to continue to build on that.
No, absolutely. So
short of style.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. So explain the significance behind the long and short of style for those who don't know.
Yeah. So the long and short of style, we started in 2019, pre-pandemic. Oh, back in the day. It feels like the olden days now.
We could be free,
right?
Almost like we pour a little liquor on the ground.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. We started in July of 2019. And for us, the premise was we're sisters. One's tall, one's petite. Like we're opposite ends in terms of size, height, all of that. So, you know, people talk about the long and short of it, that expression. We decided to take a twist on that and create the long and short of style, where we can still showcase our different body types and show women great ways to wear looks. The premise of the blog that we've continued to do is to make sure whatever look either of us is wearing, we're sure to provide links so that regardless of size, you can create the same look. We want to create an inclusive space where everyone can come regardless of size and abilities and participate. That was really important for us.
Okay. And did you foresee that the two of you would be working together, like in the past few years? Like, did you, before all this stuff started, like, did you figure like you'd be working together at some point?
I honestly, even when we were with Fab Four Fashion and I was, you know, asked to join them, I'm like, okay, I'll do this. But really, like, I love fashion, but I just didn't see myself not like really being in the forefront of it. I kind of saw myself as more of the cheerleader. And that's something that even with, once I really said, okay, I'm going to do my thing with Fab Four Fashion now with long and short, is that a lot of the time plus size women are just seen in the background as either the best friend in a TV show or a movie, this, that, and the third. The funny character. And I just wanted to show that, no, we can be in the forefront of things, right there, front and center. So it was really important for me to push that positive representation forward.
And she's killing it. Like, I have to put it out
there. She really is.
People ain't coming to see me. Okay, maybe a couple, but in the grand scheme of things, they love her. They love her. And it's not just a bias because she's my sister. They love her. And her style is epic. It's amazing. She's inspiring and she is killing it. She knows about style. She knows about so many different brands that cater to all sizes or cater just to plus size, extended sizes. So you're a really great example of an amazing, beautiful, powerful Black woman that's killing it in fashion. So I had to say, I don't want to gas her up too much. We'll bring her head down later.
I would take it. Let me brush my shoulders off right there. Thank you.
But you know what's funny though? Like, as you're saying this, just to touch on what you're saying before, I was watching Living Single probably like a couple weeks ago. And, you know, Queen Latifah was probably the main character of the show. And she had the main love interest and stuff. And I was watching it. I was kind of interested because I'm like, yeah, you really don't see that often. Like it's
very rare. And wasn't she probably one of the producers of that show? So she could kind of give that input narrative and exactly, unless you have somebody but not only in front of the camera but behind the camera that's really pushing that narrative forward, where plus size women have a life outside of just being the best friend or the supporting character or the sidekick. It doesn't really happen, you know.
Was there a moment going down this journey that maybe kind of shook your confidence or made you question if you ladies are making the right decision?
Oh yeah. The night before our first photo shoot with Fab Four Fashion, I had mistakenly found this what do they call it, chat room or what have you, where they were just roasting straight size bloggers. And I'm like, if they're doing that to these slender women, whom a lot of them were white, slender women, you know, checking off all the boxes of what Eurocentric beauty is. I'm like, what are they gonna do to me? So I was a little bit, I'm not gonna lie to you, I was a little afraid of what they're gonna do to me. But as I was doing the blog with them, and of course your confidence grows, because before I even did blog, I thought of doing any type of blogging thing. Yeah. I had already been on my own journey to self-acceptance and self-love. I'm like, this is the body I got. I've you know, tried all these diets and exercises and all that stuff. And at one point I had lost a great deal of weight, but I still had the negative feelings about myself that weren't gonna go away because I lost some weight. And until I was ready to deal with those things, I wasn't going to feel any better about myself. So back in, I think, 2015, when we started the blog with Fab4 Fashion, or for Fab4 Fashion, I was like, okay, I'm doing this, I'm doing the work. And yes, you know, when you're on this type of journey, you're gonna have moments of trepidation where you're like, oh no, how are people gonna react to me? Social media can be a positive place, but it can also be a horrible place.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? I'm doing this with my sister and my friends who care and love about me and who know who I really am. And there might be some people out there that say some mean things. And funny enough, when that did happen, I thought, I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna be wrecked. I'm gonna feel horrible. And actually it was the exact opposite. I was like, this person's an idiot. I just block and delete. And I was completely fine. And so, yeah, I still get plenty of really very horrible messages DM'd to me or put in my comment section. And I'm like, okay, block and delete. And I'm okay.
That simple.
You know?
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Yeah.
But it's crazy where social media is at, though, because, you know, everybody gets the, you know, they call that liquid courage that, you know, everybody feels like they're tough behind their phone or behind the screen.
That's
you know,
right.
But they would never do it in front of your face. You know,
never. It's social media is a double-edged sword. There's places where I found amazing community, especially in the plus size community. It's so supportive, so welcoming, so caring. And then, like I said, you get the I don't know if we can cuss on your show.
Go ahead. No, you can.
Go ahead.
You get some assholes that just say really horrible things, and you're like, okay, block and delete and keep it pushing, you know?
Yeah. Is that simple? Why entertain that energy, right?
Yeah. But what makes me worried is that there's a lot of very young people on social media. And my concern is if they're getting that kind of negative attention and feedback. And, you know, as a teenager, I certainly did not have the confidence that I have now. And if they're getting that kind of negative energy directed at them, what is that doing to them, you know?
Yeah.
So that's distressing to me.
So I guess in touch of that, what was your lowest moment during this process, and how does it help your confidence looking back on that moment, if you guys have one?
I know for me, probably one of the most terrifying moments was we used to write articles for buyblacks.com, and we would take turns, you know, being the author of an article, fashion focused. And I decided to write one on my having bad eyesight, my being partially sighted. And that was terrifying to do because it's not something, as I mentioned earlier, that I really discussed broadly. I had no problems with it. My friends knew because like, I can't see, so you better wave. Otherwise I'm going to walk right by you. You know, people knew, but a lot of people didn't know to what extent, you know, and when you think of someone being blind or partially sighted, people have told me I don't normally see you know? So when I wrote the article, I was very, you know, pretty much candid and talking about how, you know, I use clothing as an armor to control situations and conversations. It can be really empowering because you get to use it as a tool. You know, people say, oh, you shouldn't judge a book by its cover. You shouldn't, you know, judge a person by the way they look. But the reality is That's human nature.
Yeah.
Science has proven that that's what people do. So my rationalization had been, well, I'm going to work with what I know science tells me is facts. You know, facts are facts. So in writing that article, I talked about that. I talked about what it felt like to be visually impaired and, you know, how I, you know, use fashion and all of that stuff. And I felt like I was kind of putting a bit of my heart on the line. So before I submitted it, I let Gail read it and she's like, I think it's really great. Are you comfortable? Are you comfortable? I'm like, I think it's time. And I think so. So releasing that, it went live and I got a lot of positive feedback from that. But that was the moment where I'm just like, I felt like I was kind of altering my course, you know, instead of just being purely fashion and I just focused on, you know, Black women fashion, I was bringing the disability aspect in that.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how I would be received because, you know, Black women, you have that community, the community among disabled people or people with differently abled. It's, for me, I've never found another Black woman like me. You know, and if you're out there, if you're listening now, please DM me, please reach out. I found different people with different abilities, absolutely. But one that I look at and I'm like, oh, wow, you are just like me. I hadn't seen that on media, which is of course where, you know, as a kid, you're looking, I hadn't seen that. My mom was quoting, well, Helen Keller. I'm like, Helen Keller. I'm like, she's great and everything, but it's not the same. So that was kind of my, you know, moving into that space to be more outspoken about that, talk about accessibility, talk about inclusion, and have more authentic and genuine conversations. It was a start. It was a bumpy road, you know, to start, but it's a start. And that's why it's something more important for me to discuss and just bring more, I don't know, clarity to, more knowledge about, like just, I want it to be normalized, more understanding. I want it to be normalized. I want people to think about their world differently, see their work differently, just do whatever they're doing in a different way so that it's more accessible for everyone. If you're building a building and a person in a wheelchair can't get into it, is that the right building to build? You know, for example, in Toronto, when we used to have those streetcars where there were steps to get on. So can an elderly person with a walker really get on this streetcar? You know, so just trying to alter the way people think. And that's something that is becoming more of a mission for me with the long and short of style. And Gail too, actually, she's been one of my huge champions. Like she sometimes is getting on the soapbox to be like, what are you doing here? This is, you know, this is not accessible. Before in the past, before I'd want to say anything, because it's just like, you sometimes feel like you just want to fit in and you just want to blend.
You're just trying to deal with it.
You know, it's just like, I'm just going to deal. I'm just going to blend, especially as a kid, you know, it's like you want to fit in with everybody else. You're already, you know, maybe the only Black girl. You already have the kinky hair. You're already so othered, so different, you know? So now I'm at a point where I feel much more comfortable to walk this path. I was nervous at the beginning, but it's been positive for me. And it's definitely something I'm going to continue doing. Yeah.
Very proud of you, sis.
Do you remember what the moment was that changed everything just for you, where you felt like you had to enter this space? Was there a moment?
Yeah, I think it was probably when I decided to buy the camera tripod. It was that year I just realized if I don't start doing what I want to do with my life, like my life will pass me by and I will never, I'll have regrets. You know, and I don't want to live a life with a lot of regrets when going out there, because I can get really shy when I'm in public spaces, a lot of attention. Sometimes my social media account had been private prior to us getting into the fashion content creator space, you know, so I wasn't comfortable being seen because the more people that see you, the more people can criticize, the more, you know, I'm like, So I just realized that, forget that, it doesn't matter. Like Gail was saying, what other people think, it doesn't matter. Like I want to do my passion. Am I going to let people that I don't know determine my future and what I do? So it was really when I made that, I got that DSLR camera, made the purchase, and I'm like, I'm doing this. Like there's no going back. This is what I want to do come what may, whether we succeed or fail. I really want to do this because it's my passion. It's something I love. It gives me joy. Even when we're stressed out and tired and we have a lot of things going on, I can still turn around and work on this. So
yeah, for me, the trigger was it really tapped into something where I got to express myself creatively in the fashion world like I'd never been able to do before. And that once that was triggered, I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna be able to stop this. This is way too much fun. And it's so important. You know,
it sparked something in both of you.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It became more than just having a blog.
Yeah.
You know, it really was a conduit to expressing our full selves.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's funny because it's like it's almost as scary, but it's a great feeling when you get to that crossroad, that point where you're just like it's just too much. You're just like, I got to do what I want to do.
You have to. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Completely agree.
And it's crazy because a lot of people, you know, they go through this life. Like, I mean, we're both coming from West Indian backgrounds. Our parents came and worked one job. They did it for 30, 40 years, got the gold watch, you know, everything else. But it's like, you know, for us, you know, we're supposed to take it further. So it's like when you see yourself going along that line, like, hey, wait a minute, like this wasn't the path I was supposed to go, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. I completely agree. Yeah. It's like, once we started the blog, it was like my life before is like, what was I doing before? Like, honestly, I was just getting up, going to work, getting up, going to work. And while that was fun, we hanging out with our friends. It was great. But it was like, now when I look back, I'm like, absolutely something was missing. You know, there is something to be said for being able to express yourself the way you want to, that just cannot be denied. Like, it's so important. And while we're using the vehicle of fashion to do that, however that works for people, they should explore that. Like, I know some people think, you know, fashion is kind of frivolous, it's not that important, but I know for me as a plus size person, when I was much younger, not being able to dress the way that I wanted to, you kind of like, it's like for me at least, it was like a little bit of a slow death. I remember one time, this is way before we did any type of blog thing. I remember asking my sister, I'm like, when you go shopping, what are you thinking about when you go shopping? And she's like, oh, well, you know, I'm thinking about how I feel. How will this outfit make me feel? Do the colors compliment me? This, that, and the other. And I'm like, oh, wow. Because like, literally, I don't think that. I go to the store that has my size and I would get black pants and a top, because I'm like, I'm not wearing the other stuff that at the time 10 years ago was really crappy. It was not fashion forward. And I'm like, I'm not spending my hard-earned money on that. So I'll get black pants and different tops, and we'll just swipe out the tops so it's appropriate for work. And if I'm going out, it's a top that's appropriate for going out for dinner with friends. And that was it. And it was boring. I look back and I was so bored. I was really sad, but trying to mask it like, you know, everything's cool, everything's fine. And now with the blog, being able to really wear what I want to wear, fashion has come a long way. It still has work to do in the plus size market, but it's come a long way. And being able to really wear what I want to wear, that speaks to who I am, that is not a small thing. It is not frivolous at all.
Do you wish you almost started this earlier?
Yes.
100%.
Absolutely, yes.
100%.
Yeah, just, you know,
no ifs, ands, or buts. And it's something that we marinated on for years.
Yeah.
Like, we had been talking about, we've had people tell us, oh, you should have a blog. You should do this. You should. From the time we were in Montreal, I would tell people at the time I was
They told you that. They weren't telling me that.
They were telling me this.
Yeah.
But you were so into fashion. I'm like, well, who else am I going to do? I'm going to do it with you. Meanwhile, she tells me, she's like, I was going to just pretend. I was encourage you.
Honestly, I was going to pretend to encourage her because I think she's amazing. I remember Leslie telling me, this is when we were in Montreal. She's like, she was in a boutique in Montreal buying some stuff or trying some things on. And they loved her outfit that she wore when she came into the store. And they're like, oh, so what do you do? And Leslie's like, I'm in investment banking. And they're like, what? I thought you were going to tell me you were a fashion editor. I'm just like,
you think I'm ignorant because I'm black? Like, why is everyone so surprised I'm in investments? Like, what is it? And then they were like, okay, but you're fashionable. So you should do something in fashion. I'm like, really? But I'm doing banking. I'm in investments. This is what I like, you know? And it's almost like God was sending me a message. He's like using different people as a vehicle to be like, I'm going to send her the message again. Like, I've been trying to tell her until finally I just listened. I'm like, you know, message received. I'm going to do this. Like, you've given me the money. You've given me the situation. Now is the time. Let's go.
And it bees that way sometimes.
It does.
And it's funny.
You get the message a few times before it sinks in.
And I got it a lot. Like, it banged me over the head a few times. And I'm like, nah, player, Brown.
Yeah, because sometimes you don't know, and then you look back and you're like, that's right.
Yeah, the signs were there.
They
I
were
wasn't
there.
paying
They were
attention.
there. They were big. They were there.
Yeah, you never notice those flags until afterwards. That's the
yeah.
Name some of your memorable experiences that you've had since embarking on this journey.
Oh
my gosh. Being on City Line was a big one.
Yes.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. Like our first segment that we had and preparing for that. And
I think I saw that live, actually.
I remember when we got the email from Tracy Moore saying, okay, because we sent in some tape. She asked us to send in some tape of ourselves. And like, I think maybe 2 weeks later, we got the email because we were like maniacally checking our inbox, like, did this come through? Did this come through? And then when it finally did, I was at work.
Yeah.
I was elated.
Wine bottles are popped.
One of the partners, Judy, worked in the same building as I did. We met with each other and jumping up and down in the hallway. I called my sister. She was at work.
I went to pray in the bathroom.
She's like,
I'm like,
what? It's so neat. Leslie's I'm talking to her at work and I'm freaking out because I was in the bathroom at work and Leslie's at her desk. She's like, oh, that's wonderful. I must go to the bathroom and pray. It was so awesome.
Yeah, that was epic.
And then when we landed on Fashion Bomb Daily.
Yes.
That was another epic moment.
Yeah, that was amazing. Fashion Canada. We were in Fashion
Canada magazine. For Long and Short of Style. That was the September issue. That was pretty amazing.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, being in Her Story, the Emily Mills created this campaign for Her Story in Black, which was to celebrate different Black women and you know their impact on Canadian history. And that was for CBC. It was aired on CBC, and that was an amazing experience. And then they created a book. It was for Canada's 150. They created a book out of it, and I was in the book too, which was really humbling.
Yes, you did that interview, the radio interview with CBC.
Yeah, the radio interview with CBC too. That was amazing. Yeah, so there's been really
highlights, some great highlights. So we're so blessed.
Spectacular highlights ending up on Essence.com.
Yes,
when we went to Essence Festival, we were on their website for what was it? Essence Beauty and Fashion,
the Beauty Carnival
and Fashion. So there have been some pretty spectacular highs.
Very exciting high five moments.
Definitely high five moments. And that's what I can think of offhand, you know.
So I know Leslie, you're saying you're doing investment banking. Gail, what was it you were doing before that, if you mind me asking?
No, I don't mind. At the time when I was in Montreal, what was I doing?
You're a manager, no?
Yeah, I was a manager at it was it was I know it was an internet company type thing. And I cannot remember now.
Look at this.
The name of the company.
Yeah, but it was in the internet. Yeah, it was an internet company. Yeah.
Okay. So now, so being that both of you were like, you know, doing different genres in the business world, like, was entrepreneurship just a natural progression for you? Did you feel like it was natural, or?
You know, I feel like we were walking the walk of kind of like your parents. It's like, okay, you know, you get a good job, then you buy a house, and you know, or maybe you find a partner and you get married, and so we were kind of walking that walk until, I don't know, I guess we got to a certain point. It's definitely when we moved to Toronto, I realized that everybody here is doing so many things. I'm like, I could be doing other things. What other things do I love? And that's when I kind of started thinking kind of differently. And it's like, okay, what else do I want to do? What else do I want to try? And fashion, of course, was a huge one. Like I said, I kept getting hit over the head by, you know, these little signs that, why aren't you in some kind of fashion? So I even thought, I'm like, maybe I should go work someplace, work for a company that, you know, does, I don't know, fashion things like a Holt Renfrew or something like that. Maybe I can get some discounts on clothes because I love fashion, you know? So I was just coming at it differently. So finally, I think it was one of Gail's coworkers was just like, you should start a blog. And I'm like, yeah, I thought about it. I think she's like, you should do it. I have a camera. I will loan you my camera. I'll loan you the camera. You take the pictures. Don't worry about it. I'm like, really? You're gonna loan me the camera? And that kind of really got me. Yeah. Oh, well, what excuse do I have?
The other flag that was waving in your face.
That was a huge one. And we borrowed the camera
for 2-3 weeks.
Giving me a camera?
We didn't do nothing with the camera.
I don't even have to buy it or nothing. Wow, thank you.
She let us borrow it for 2-3 weeks.
DSLR camera,
and we didn't do anything. Daggone thing.
But later that year is when I purchased one, and once I'm spending that money, I'm like,
yeah,
we're gonna do something.
It becomes real.
Even if it's 3 photos,
we're
gonna
real.
do something, and that really kicked it off.
Yeah.
For me. Yeah.
What have you learned from each other during this process? I know your sisters. I know y'all know everything about
but
each other.
Definitely working together is different. I would say I learned Gail is she's a driver in terms of personalities, behavioral. She's a driver. Like, she's the kind of person, she wants a brief overview of the plan. And then she wants to go.
Let's
like,
execute.
Let's do this. Let's stop talking about. And I'm very much a planner.
She's a planner.
I want to plan.
Detail oriented.
I want to plan and then recheck the plan and check the plan, cross-reference the plan.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, Gail's like, plan is ready, let go.
Yeah.
You know?
Agreed.
So,
like we've talked
but
about
it works really well. I think in part because we're sisters and we know how to resolve our arguments by now after so many years, and we know what sets each other off, and we're really best friends. Yeah, we really are. So working together, that kind of transfers smoothly into that. That doesn't mean we don't get annoyed with each other sometimes. You know, like, I'm taking too long planning, or she wants to drive. It's like, but do you know where we're going? Do you know? And she's like, well, tell me then, but it works really well.
It does. It really does. Our arguments are very minimal. They really are. We're usually on the same page about a lot of things. Yeah.
Yeah.
You definitely balance each other's strengths.
Yeah.
You ladies have a natural chemistry. I don't know if it's because of the sisterhood thing, but it's natural though, that you don't normally see when you're watching somebody post and everything else. It seems very natural.
Thank you.
Y'all in sync right now, just like this, all like that.
That's the sister thing.
Yeah, that is the sister thing.
So I see you ladies are, obviously you're advocates for style and inclusivity. What makes you ladies decide to focus on this route? Like, why was it important to you? For those who don't know, I'm not sure if I asked this question already, but
no. Well, for us, it's because we have 2 different body shapes and sizes.
Extreme.
Like, I'm 5'9", she's 5'2". We're different sizes. I'm like very poly. She got all the curves and she got the bootay that B's working on. Them squats do not help.
A little bit of height I would have appreciated. So
I would have taken a little bongi. But, so when we look at it, when we want to shop together, it's usually shopping online. We can't go into a store and really shop together. And we're sisters. Yeah. So this has been all our life, or most of our life. Yeah. So some of the places she might be like, oh, this is beautiful. I love this, whatever. It's like, okay, well, the pants are too short, or there's, some kind of issue, or places I may like. She's like, okay, well, it only goes up to a size 14. So forget this. So it just became, it was something that we were always like, well, it'd be perfect because we're sisters. We get to work together, and naturally being different body shapes, that just fell into place. That just fell into place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you feel about more clothing lines such as like Rihanna's, like Savage and Fenty, making fashion more inclusive for all shapes and sizes? So do you feel like, I know you were saying before, like you feel like there's still a long way to go, but you do see more of it happening.
Absolutely. It's definitely improving. Like, I'm not going to say that it's not. It's definitely improving. And of course, it would be Rihanna, a Black woman, doing the thing. Yeah. Right? So I love Fenty. And not only did she offer inclusive sizing for women, but she also has it for Black men. Like, there is this Black male plus size model. Like, he went viral, broke the internet. I cannot recall his name right now, but she used him in her campaign, and everything that he wore sold out. Nice. Like, really? Sold out in a New York minute. Nice. So what's great about the plus size movement is that it's also including men, showing that there are options for them to dress really, bomb and not just be relegated to, a t-shirt or jeans. They can really come forward with variety, come through with the really cool suits and a variety of shades, colors, and prints and things like that.
And we're all seeing a lot more brands like the ASOS's of the world. Yes. that are catering to all sizes. You know, we're starting to see that a lot more. Ishakti is another brand that caters to all sizes. I'm trying to think of another one. Fashion Nova does that too. So we're starting to see a lot more brands that cater to them, like the Kayla K's. There are some smaller boutiques, like Kayla K's out of Toronto.
Yes,
she caters to all sizes. And what's wonderful with her, whether you're straight size or plus size, she doesn't charge more for the garment because she has to make it specialty because it's a plus size,
good.
you know,
which I love.
Right.
Yeah.
So I love that we're starting to see more of that. But like Gail said, there's still more work to be done. We'd like to see it everywhere. Maybe we'll create that. We'll make that will be
hopefully that will be the plan down the road to do that.
How have you ladies like managed during the pandemic with the photo shoots and all this?
The photo shoots,
I can imagine it could be.
We definitely had to pivot. We took a moment because we're like, okay, like we're in a pandemic.
We were just scared in the beginning. It felt like Bird Box. You know how there's that. I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but this cloud mist, whatever, just go. Nobody can see it. Nobody can see it, but it's gonna get you. It felt like if I went outside, it's like it's gonna get you.
It's gonna get me.
You know, so. In the beginning, we're like, forget pictures.
There aren't going to be any
pictures. We don't want to die. We're going to go outside and it's going to get you. You're going to drop dead.
The beginning was the worst.
It was the beginning was
awful.
You don't know what's happening.
It felt like a horror movie.
Yeah.
You know, but as time went on, we're like, okay, we had some campaigns that we were supposed to be working on. But once the pandemic hit,
we said,
you know, we weren't allowed to see our photographer. We weren't allowed to see any, we weren't supposed to be outside for anything. We didn't want to get fined just in case. But as time went by, we started to turn our condo into a studio.
Yes. And that's what happened. The photo shoots came inside or in the surrounding, you know, property of our condo. That's where we shot.
Taking our pictures. I love taking photos and Gail is great at them as
at
well,
editing.
You know?
I love editing them.
So we're a great team there. Rosine Bonheur is our regular photographer.
Yes.
But, you know, we went back to taking pictures ourselves. It's like, okay, we got this. We can do this. It felt a little shaky at first, but it came together. So it was around our condo building and inside our condo is how we've kind of pivoted, because even the studios that we used to use for indoor in winter shut down. So it was really, it took us time to readjust and kind of look at, well, why would people want to purchase anything now in a pandemic when you can't go anywhere?
Right.
You know, so loungewear became something that was huge, or buying investment pieces. So it's a piece that you're not going to, it's not so trendy that you wear it today. And by next week, you're like, toss that out. You know, we really focused on what can people wear long-term? What are investment pieces that you add to your wardrobe? And if this pandemic even goes on for 2 years, God forbid, you know, you can still wear it then, you know? So that's kind of where we kind of started to focus our attention. And also people need a treat. Gail keeps telling me you can't wear pajamas every day, all day.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. When the pandemic hit, I was like, okay, I'll roll out of bed, take a shower, and then put on my pajamas or some kind of like just jogging pants and t-shirt.
So much.
And that didn't work for me. I didn't like that at all. I like getting dressed up. I like putting my makeup on. It makes me feel better. So I'm like, why can't I do that now? And so that's what I've done. And so what I do is I have a couple days where it's just really glam day.
Can I interrupt? She wears her crown. Can I tell you she wears
I have a crown that I got
around the house.
And it makes me feel better.
On the work at home days with the crown.
Does it hurt you?
Okay, no. Okay, continue.
Okay.
Like the full crown or like a tiara? Just a full crown?
It's like a little tiara thing, and it makes me feel better.
Exactly. But you know what? She's expressing herself, and I don't want to stifle that. I just see her, and I'm like, I just pull up my robe on my pajamas and keep it pushing. That's it.
Yeah, so just getting a little dressed up for yourself, it feels really wonderful.
But it does. I
highly recommend it.
When I do dress up, you know, we do our photo shoots and all that kind of stuff, and we try and have little get-togethers with our friends, you know, Zoom get-togethers and all that. And when I do dress up, I really see the difference. It's like, I forgot I could look cute. You know, I'm like, I'm used to I got my bonnet on, got my Bantu knots in my hair. It's like, okay, look at me.
You see?
I'm feeling myself a little bit.
And I don't ever want to forget. So I get dressed up. It's so fun.
Yeah, I don't have a crown, unfortunately. but
that might have to be our present to you.
Yes. It's on the way.
Okay.
It's in the mail.
King Calvin.
True.
Has a nice ring to it, doesn't it?
Has a nice ring to it.
I like that. I like that very much so. But you know, it's funny because I think during this period, I kind of feel like what's the word? I think you're seeing the strength of the creative, you know, during this period in time because, you know, even though everybody's on lockdown, even though, you know, everything's restricted, like you still have to create.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah.
And definitely creatives have been getting me through. The artists,
the Don't Rush challenges, all the challenges
were so
that were
fun.
spurred. I think they were brought on by the pandemic. It's like we can't leave. This is how I'm gonna, you know, connect with my friends. Like you were saying, the DJ challenges.
Yeah,
the
DJ Nice doing his thing. Oh my God, that was so awesome.
The battles,
the versus battles, all of that.
The versus battle's been amazing. That was probably
the Beanie Man
and Bounty Killer. That was next level. I got dressed up for that one. Let me tell you.
That still hasn't been touched yet, to be honest.
You know what I mean? I got my whole entire life from that. Like days after that versus battle, I was on a natural high. It was so awesome.
It was epic.
I probably watched that. I probably watched that about 5 times. Like honestly, like for over the 2 weeks afterwards.
Right?
On the verse, I was like, I'm gonna watch it again. Let me
but where did Bounty Killer go? Where did Bounty go?
I don't know.
Where did he go? Remember at one point he just disappeared. It's like
the
police came, really?
Yeah.
The pole was coming.
He left the building. I'm like, where are you, sir?
It's like, sir, you move quick, huh?
Yeah, you're police. I have to go.
But again, I always say it changed verses. It
did.
It
absolutely did. It absolutely did. It took it to another level
because we were all glued.
We were all glued. Yeah. People were talking about what are they gonna wear to the verses in their house.
100%.
I did it. It was
people
so fun.
That weren't even West Indian were like, I'm Jamaican. They're
Jamaican tonight.
They're ready. They were ready.
Yeah. No, that was awesome. That was a huge win for the West Indian community.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. It was so good. Like everything from start to finish, the way they had DJs to get people warmed up and primed for the concert. It was a concert. It wasn't a battle. It was a concert. It was amazing. You even had the police come. Like there was something. It was awesome the whole way through.
It was. I loved it. I loved it.
Now, because you ladies have been doing this for some time now, what advice would you give to ladies that may want to open up and do something similar with fashion? Seeing that, you know, let's say it, you guys are the pioneers of this right now. What you guys are doing, this lane that you're creating.
You're too kind.
I wish.
No, but it's true.
We are definitely riding on the shoulders of other women, especially for me in the plus size community who have really stepped forth years ago, back in 2000. Some of them are way back from 2009, 2010. So I'm definitely standing on their shoulders, and they were definitely a part of my self-love journey and self-acceptance journey. So I wouldn't say I'm a pioneer, but I'm glad that I can definitely add my voice to the blogosphere. To women who want to get started, I would say absolutely do it. Don't think that because there's other people who might be a plus size blogger that you can't do it. Like if you go, I've heard this analogy used or this example used before, that when you go to the grocery store, is there only one brand of bread? No, there's a variety. You know, everybody, exactly. There is space and room for you to thrive. Nobody can do bring your fashion sense or bring what you can bring to the blogging
your personality,
world.
Your energy, bring all of that.
Exactly.
And like she said, just do it. Like Nike said, just do it. And you can start with your phone. Get you a good phone, wipe off the camera, make sure there's no blurry marks, and take great photos of yourself. You can edit them on your phone and just start. Like the main thing for us was we just needed to start.
Exactly.
And once we started, things just started rolling, feeling how good we felt about doing it, you know, creating the brand, all of that. Like just start. If you have an Instagram page, if you don't have one, start one. Use your Instagram page, use your phone, start taking pictures of your favorite looks. These are things that it's a great time to do it now because there's so many challenges that you can start, you know, taking part in, building your following, and try to figure out what it is that you want to convey. Like What is your message? What is it that you're trying to show? Is it all fashion? Is it that you want to show that you're, you know, the versatility you have with being a mom and balancing that with, you know, your style? Is it like whatever that niche is that you want to focus on it and go hard. Like no excuse. The time for excuses is gone. 2021, it's our year. Just do it.
Yeah. Nobody can do it like you. So
exactly. And there's space for you.
And there is always space for you.
There's space.
Like I said, there's no one brand of bread. So why should there only be one brand of blogger or creative?
It's true. It's true. And that's like the secret, right? That's the underrated secret is we're always taught that there's always, you know, king of the hill or queen of the hill. There's always just one person on top. When there's room for so much people to eat.
Exactly.
That's the problem. That's the problem that we don't see that.
And the other secret is to be consistent. If you say you're gonna post twice a week or 3 times a week, whatever it is, just keep being consistent. So then people know, okay, they said they always post on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. Okay, so people will show up. You know, expecting to see that content there. So it's about being consistent, because when others fall by the wayside, if you keep showing up, people are going to follow you and stand with you.
No, facts.
I remember the first event we went to, one of the first events we went to with Fab for Fashion. It was with a brand, and we were talking with some of our readers who were there, and we were trying to remember the name of one of our posts. And the reader is like, oh, it's called da 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 da. And I'm like, oh wow.
She knew the name.
And I'm like,
how that make you feel?
She's like, she was like, no, I really follow you guys.
And she knew the name, and she knew what, like, she happened to be plus size. It was a plus size event. So she remembered what I was wearing, and she remembered what our other co-founder Judy was wearing. So I'm like, okay. So people, when they ride for you and they ride hard.
And
so
it's
just be consistent. It's humbling. We're very grateful.
Without people wanting to see what we're doing, buying into this, we wouldn't have a brand. We would be just taking up pictures for ourselves, for each other. It's like, hey, Gail, what do you think of this?
Yeah.
You know, so you need that. You can be yourself. Like, that's one thing I have learned through this whole process is that it's okay to be myself.
Yeah.
You know, and I am enough.
Yeah.
You know, so whoever's out there that wants to do it, just do it. Be yourself. You are enough. People are going to love you. Be genuine, be kind, you know, and do it. Just do it.
And what's the outlook for 2021? Not trying to give away your secret sauce, but what are you looking to accomplish this year? COVID be damned.
Right?
Yeah.
We're trying to take over the world.
That's right.
That's not the answer. Gail's just like, that's it.
That is the answer.
That's it.
Like Pinky in the Brain?
Exactly. Exactly. I'm glad you got my reference. No, this year we want to try and do things like every year we try and do things a little bit different. Like, how do we change it up just to keep people interested, keep people wanting to see, okay, well, what are they going to do next? So definitely trying to continue highlighting size inclusive brands. That's something that's core to us that we want to continue doing, and just trying, we're just trying to mix things up and, you know, showcase ourselves a little differently. We'll leave it on that. We'll leave it on that note.
No problem.
We got to get you to tune in, Calvin.
Yeah.
I will tune in. I just got a couple of questions left, and then
okay.
But what are you listening to right now? When you're doing your photo shoots, what's playing out of your Bluetooth speakers? It's Jasmine Sullivan, isn't it? It's Jasmine Sullivan.
I'm so sorry. I love her though.
Oh,
but it's trap. It's for me. I'm a trap queen.
Trap all day, every day. If it's my phone, it's usually Afro beats.
Yes, that too.
So mine is usually Afro beats. If it's Gail, it's trap all day, every day.
I know.
Straight Roddy Rich, straight.
Yes.
Mustard, all of it. Look at you're getting so excited right now.
All day. So that's it. That we just had a photo shoot.
All 808s. Just all 808s.
All 808s.
We just had a photo shoot this past weekend, and that was a guilt. Like, let me get my phone. We tired. We're moving on. We're moving on. And it was trap all day. Or sometimes we have an old school hip hop move.
Yes.
Like, a little Tribe Called Quest scenario,
Yes.
a little, we
yes.
we mix it up in there, a little
Mix it up a
Dead
little bit.
Presidents.
Dead Prez, yeah, for sure.
All right, Gail, what's the trap record that's giving you superpowers? Which one is it?
Which one? What do I? There's so many. Oh, what's the latest one I done downloaded?
I don't know, because you always have so many.
There's
like you
this
said.
one. I was listening. I was watching.
I love how
football.
she's getting her phone
I'm getting
now.
my
You see
phone.
she's getting her phone
I'm getting
now.
my phone because I have my playlist, son. I have my playlist. And what's the one? What I got going on? Megan Thee Stallion.
Okay.
All up and through. Okay, she's not really trappy, but
Mhm.
I love her. I love Megan Thee Stallion. She's all up and through my phone. What else do I have? Oh, what else? What else?
I don't know.
I definitely have Roddy Ricch. Got him on here. Got Roddy Ricch.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank as to what I've been listening to.
Yeah, I'm blanking now. Okay,
because you're a music guy too. What are you
yeah,
listening to?
yeah. What are you listening to?
I'm all over the place right now, to be honest with you. The last one I've been getting into is not even trap, really. It's Joyner Lucas. I've been listening to a lot of his stuff, actually.
Okay.
I think he put out like 2 albums.
He's new to me.
Yeah, he's nice. He's nice. West
R&B?
Coast. No, hip hop, but he's West Coast.
Oh, it's hip hop. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
He's the
cool.
one that came out with the Will song. I want to be like Will. Like.
Oh,
okay,
I love
okay,
that.
This stuff is good.
That was good.
His stuff is good. His stuff is good.
Nice.
Yeah. So my last question, and this honestly, this is even my question. This is my wife's question.
Yay!
She wanted me to ask you the question, as you know, she's a big fan of you guys right now.
Oh, tell her thank you.
No problem, no problem. What color do you wear that makes you feel the most confident? See, this isn't a question I would ask.
I have to jump in first. I love red. It's my power color.
Mm-hmm.
It just makes me feel alive. And any shade of red, burgundies to the orangey reds, I love it all. Red.
Like,
Red?
She loves her red. Me, it needs to be multicolored. Like I need a print.
Mm-hmm.
I put on a print, head to toe print, and I'm feeling myself. It could be a mix of whatever colors, but it needs to be printed. So black and white. It can be red, blue, black, white, yellow, green. Like I just need print.
Fluorescent color. Take it back to the 90s. Don't matter.
Take it back. I just need the print. Like when you give me the print, it's like it gives me my superpowers.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I can take on the world. It's bold. It stands out. It's like I'm making a statement. I want to be seen, and you're gonna see me. You have no choice because
yes,
like I'm in now. You know.
The only thing I want to say, just to wrap it up, is just so I think it was Gail. I think you were saying this earlier, but fashion. You know what? Honestly, fashion is important because it's a part of your everyday life, and you know what? Like. I don't want to call myself a shoeaholic, but you know I got my certain set of kicks.
The sneakers coming out. Are you a
Yes.
sneaker pimp? You pimping them sneakers? You got them sneakers?
I'm not, I wouldn't call myself a sneakerhead, but I like my collection. You know, I have my certain collection. But I'm just saying that, like, you know, certain things that you wear, like it makes you feel a certain way.
Exactly.
It gives you that little boost of confidence.
Exactly.
You know? I mean, unfortunately, we're wearing our Flyers gear to Costco right now in front of the meat section. But I mean,
right?
You know, but other than that,
Costco's gonna get my Flyers gear and it's gonna be okay.
Right? Or like trip into the home office, it's like, okay.
You know?
Yeah, you're gonna see these Timberlands. That's right.
You're
That's
right.
You're gonna see them. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes, and you're gonna like it.
Exactly.
So Leslie, get used to it.
I know the crown. I'm gonna get used to the crown.
Get into it.
I gotta wear it all. Jordans with an ascot, with a
right?
fedora, just everything. Just wear it all.
So
just wear it all at Costco.
Do it.
It is so fun. I'm telling you.
Do it. And you know what people are gonna love seeing you do? It's like, oh right, he made that trip. He dressed up. Thank you, sir.
The people appreciate the effort.
Appreciate it.
That's hilarious. Well, ladies, listen, thank you so much for coming on the stoop today. I wish we could have did this in person. Well,
I know.
one day we will do this in person.
Yeah,
but
we got
that means we have to
awesome.
guaranteed part 2. We need a guaranteed part 2 at some point.
Yeah, there will be a part 2 and a part 3. And the reason why I'm saying, I think I told you this before we started, where I wanted to make this one is a little more formal, because I do want to bring the both of you back for something that I'm doing a little bit later this year.
Okay.
And yeah, so just, you know, and just have a little fun with it.
Okay, I'm
like
it.
I'm excited.
Okay, so yeah, so we'll definitely keep this in mind. So yes, so
awesome.
just we'll figure this out somehow. COVID be damned, we're gonna figure this out.
Exactly,
right.
Exactly.
And we'll keep listening to your podcast.
Definitely.
I love
thank
them.
Thank you so much for having us on, man.
Thank you. And
It's
hold
been
on.
a long time. I'm telling you, business. I have known Calvin since high school. I don't know if you said that on since high school. He was itty bitty. I put it out there. That's it. So I'm mad love.
We go way back. But I love watching, I love watching success,
Thank you.
So when I see, like, I'm a fan. So when I look at you ladies doing your thing on Instagram, I'm always like, all right, okay. South Shore representing, all right,
Thank you so much.
No. And we gotta do a little toast, just for Ramadan. Because I know you have your wine and everything.
We got our wine. Chin chin.
Chin chin. Salud.